Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela. So I am doing another video. And again, I found myself with a kind of a conundrum because I've been doing my card of the month each month, and I didn't want to do the card of the month for like February or January, I think, but I did for March. So then I had to play catch up. So here I am again. I want to do it for June, but not necessarily for May, but I didn't do May either, so I'm playing catch up for May. So here's May's card of the month. I'm just going to go over what the card meant to me and what I actually experienced and how that tied together. And if you're just tuning in to my card of the month, cards I actually pulled from the Dreamkeepers Tarot and the Ferenc-Pinter Tarot in January for the month of the year, or card of the month for the year, back in January. And so it still boggles my mind every month when I get to this particular card of whatever month it is, that they're so accurate. And it just boggles my mind how accurate they are. So let's get into this. So for the Dreamkeepers Tarot, for the card of the month, I pulled the Two of Swords. Now, normally to me, the Two of Swords is all about making a decision, right? She's blindfolded. She's got the Two Swords, to me, indicating the two directions. Either direction she could go in. She's blind to, or not wanting to make the decision for left or right, good or bad, whatever the choice may be. And I think it's interesting how there's so much fog around her here, so you can't really see the options behind her, which is kind of interesting. Because normally you can see everything clearly, but this one has like a fog. And then we've got the moon up here indicating, there's something hidden, some detail she's not seeing clearly. And she's blindfolded, so, which is normal for the Two of Swords. But I find this fascinating for the month of May. I'm not really remembering what all happened in May. All I know is it's pretty much the same pattern as I've had all year, where it was doctor's appointments, doctor's appointments, doctor's appointments. Yeah, I found that very interesting that there's a lot of sameness that happened in May. But at the same time, because of what happened in June, this seems fitting because of the choices I made in May led to June. Which, to me, maybe not in a way that I had a choice in making the decisions, but there could have been some decisions made on my part where there was less steps to get to where I was in June, if that makes sense. So that's quite interesting. So then for the Ferenc-Pinter Tarot, I pulled the Four of Wands. Now, Four of Wands is not a card I pull ever. It's normally a card of, it looks like celebratory, maybe a wedding. In RWS, it looks like there's maybe a wedding that just happened or took place, and everybody's just left the area, and no one's really cleaned up yet. And this one, to me, it's like she's leaning heavily on her partner here. And again, this just seems like a foreboding of what was to come in March or June. because there's a lot of me depending on my husband to get me places or do things for me because of the stuff that went on in June. So I found that quite fascinating. This is like another card that's like a foreshadowing of what was to come in June. So quite interesting. So let's see what the book says on the... I just lost it. Oh, it's in the box. On the Dreamkeeper's Tarot. I just got a page here. This is Two of Swords. Stuck at a crossroads, unable to move forward. Interesting. I've been getting that for so long now. A headless figure stands in a marshy swamp with her arms bound behind her back. She seems to have lost her mind and unable to think clearly. Is trapped in indecision. The tiny figures behind her represent hungry ghosts, which are painful memories from the past that continue to haunt her. Wow. See, and this is why I read the book when I do these, because the book is just fantastic for this deck. She stands beneath the waxing crescent moon, a time in the moon cycle that supports conceptualizing and new beginnings. Therefore, she has the guidance and protection of forces greater than herself at her back, if only she were to drop her swords and accept their assistance. Wow. The Two of Swords is a card that represents a difficult decision, usually between two options. The choice between two options can sometimes leave us overwhelmed and feeling stuck, creating the sense of an inability to act, either out of an unwillingness to see the truth from fear of what might happen or of what might be exposed. Wow. Resulting in stalemate, avoidance, and or indecision. And that's quite interesting, because if I'm being honest with myself, there's a part of me that doesn't continue the writing that I do, simply because I know good and well, it's like I saw this on a TV show before, where she was rewriting her draft to her novel instead of turning it into this publishing company. And her husband wanted just sending it. And she's like, why would you do that? He's like, because you would never send it in. Because you have this fear. And she said, well, you know what, you're right. She said, as long as I didn't turn it in, I was still a writer. Because she was so afraid that once she turned it in, it would be so bad that they would be like, you're not a writer. What are you doing? What do you think you're doing? And I think that's the process I'm stuck in at this moment. That's why I'm like, well, if I don't write anything, then yeah, nothing can happen. And that's where I'm stuck with this process. So that's quite interesting that popped up. Okay. When we have two similar options available to us, there is a danger of becoming so bogged down by the choice. That's me. Endlessly weighing the pros and cons that we choose nothing, only to remain perplexed and paralyzed. Consider the medieval paradox of Buridan's ass in this philosophical concept exploring free will. A donkey that is equally hungry and thirsty is placed equal distance between a pail of water and a bale of hay. The paradox implies that this creature will always go towards whatever is closest to him, but since they are placed at equal distances, he is unable to choose. The donkey's indecision results in the poor animal's death. The fact of the matter is that life, is composed of choices, and while it's true that sometimes one choice closes us off to other options, we can never escape these decisions, as not choosing is also a choice. Wow. So even if you don't choose anything, that's still a choice. That's crazy. And my TV just went off. Hold on. It's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. Okay. In not making a choice, we do damage to ourselves. We ignore our subtle emotions and unexpressed needs, all of which require our attention and response. By ignoring them, we run the risk of psychic paralysis. Wow, that's interesting. Quite interesting. A kind of internal blockage which results in closing ourselves off emotionally. This severs the connection of wisdom that allows guidance to flow freely and keeps us trapped in a state of indecision, suffering, and fear. Staying stuck in this position can only last so long. The longer we stay still and avoid seeing the truth, the harder it will be to take the meaningful action. The body itself can be a great ally in getting our minds moving again. If you feel stuck and unable to make a decision, consider physical activity as a tangible option, exercise, dance, yoga, etc., to get the life force flowing, opening the channel for insights to come through. Wow, I never thought of that. But I have been feeling like I'm at a psychic standstill. Interesting. Divinatory message. The message of the Two of Swords is to drop your defenses, which are not providing the protection you think they are, for they are actually blocking the flow of wisdom. The answers are available, but in order to receive the guidance and the power of your heart and your mind in tandem, spend time alone with yourself. Get moving and listen for messages that bubble up from your deepest self. Instead of hiding from them, practice facing your challenges head on, which can lead to a greater understanding of your needs and reveal the right course of action. Keywords: upright, blocked emotions, avoidance, difficult decisions, soulmate. Reversed: indecision, confusion, and overwhelm. Interesting. And that's why I love this book. Even if you don't like the deck, the book is so worth it. That's insane. So let's take a look at the Baron Pinter Tarot. And it's just a little book with keywords, I think. I don't think it goes into detail. Four of Wands. Description: young lovers share a quiet moment together in a park in the shade of a tree. Essence: the Four of Wands is a celebration of life, youthful energy, and rites of passage. It asks us to let our guards down, same thing it just told me here, and allow joy into our hearts. In a reading sheet, set aside burdens and find time for joy and pleasure. Festivities of all kinds are indicated by this card, from parties to vacations to weddings. These events allow us to appreciate and acknowledge all that we have accomplished and share our joy with those we love. Savor the moment. Note the positioning of the bouquet. Interesting. So what just came to mind was like how it was like, you know, the more out of practice you are, the more it's harder to get going again. It reminded me of when you go exercise. Like you've been exercising a while, it takes a while for your body to acclimate, to get back to get used to going every day again. So that's what I see here with these two cards is reminding me you're out of practice with this. You've got to get back into the swing of things. And this indecision that you've got going on is is paralyzing you. It's causing a stalemate, which you need to get going one way or another. And I think, as we will see in June, I haven't looked at the cards yet, but it's insane. Yeah, so that was my cards of the month for the month of May. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good night. Bye.